Leprechaun. Thank you for popping in. You'll have to let me know how the volume and stuff is, but hello! We will get going properly once this ad breaks over. Good, good. I wasn't sure if the music would be too loud or too soft, so just let me know. And I hope you're having a good night. Ooh, was it a new update to the game? That sounds fun. Destiny is a series that I've low-key wanted to play at for a little bit, but I just haven't gotten around to it. The concept looks interesting. Star Wars? Wait, there was an actual crossover with Destiny 2? That's fun. I do, as we've talked about before, Star Wars is one of my special interests. Alright. Now that the ad break is over, we might as well get started. Thanks for putting up with me, folks. I had to push out the stream a little bit tonight to finish up some chores in real life, because your girl spent too much of today messing around. But hello, my name is Cheryl. Welcome to the stream. We're going to do some PowerWash Sim 2. I'm going to take a sec to see if anything has changed. I don't think so. It looks like the same amount of stuff's up here. Oh, that's not... Okay. Okay, different buttons. Okay. Hello, Damien. Thank you for popping by. I appreciate ya. We're getting started with a real interesting one today, my dears. We're gonna clean a dog car. Welcome to the big time, says Derek DeGaz. Don't know if you remember that classic film from back in the day, Driving Me Nuts, about the car with the haunted steering wheel? Sure you do. Well, I was in it. Only a kid then, of course, but recently I got thinking that it's due a reboot and bought not just Esther's original vintage car, but also the rights to the entire Driving Me franchise. We're starting with Driving Me Barking, about a car that gets imbued with the consciousness of an unruly puppy. We've just filmed the pivotal scene where it digs up a bone, and now we need it cleaned for tomorrow's set piece at the dog grooming salon. So Esther, in PowerWash Sim 1, some folks buy Esther's house and her vintage car, who I guess they must have sold that car to these guys. Esther was an old movie star. So this is a fun callback to stuff in the first game. Let's see. First things first, find out where the kitties be. It looks like it's right outside our business. Alright. Step number 1 on these levels is always to find out where the biddies be. Hello! Well, there's the Ulysses. Where are your little troublemakers, kitten? Here's one of them. There's Bubbles. Now where is our little Squeakums? Oh, there we be. Squeak, you're in the splash field, my dude. You know, he probably doesn't mind. But look at this. Don't mind him. He can't bark or bite. I suppose he could run you over, though, so be gentle with him, lols. Let's see. There we are. I typically start from the bottom and I go up, but meh. Vehicles, I don't care as much for enforcing the rules. And mind you, these are rules that I make up on my own. Some cats don't. Bridget's doesn't. Spanking him with water to discipline him does nothing. Yeah, there's a friend's cat will legit just get in the shower with them. Sometimes, like, I don't know, cats are weird little beasts. I guess some kitties are just completely unbothered. It's amazing. Don't forget to wash behind those ears. He loves that. This is kind of cute, though. Oh no, look at it! Hey, I'll tell you right now, this film's gonna break all records. But don't worry, I won't spoil it for you. Yes, yeah, some cats are just built different for sure. My buddy Ulrin's cat, Gandalf, is such a weird little guy. Like, he's obviously a cat, but he behaves in a lot of ways like a dog. Like, he comes when called a lot. He's, you know, almost always good for belly rubs and whatnot. He's such an interesting little mans. So, Cartagnan, that's the dog car's name, gets into a series of scraps. It all starts with an epic car chase involving a monster truck that looks like a cat. We got through so many fence panels filming that bit, lols. So the monster truck that looks like a cat was actually a level, a thing that we cleaned in the first game. Hello, Acer! I hope you're having a good night. Thank you for popping in. So many callbacks to the first game, I'm so delighted. Then he digs up a bone, but it's not just any bone. It's the bone of an evil time traveler that got stuck in the distant past and became really angry about it. The time traveler's bone wants to get to Esther's car so it can be reunited with its consciousness, but Cartagnan just wants to gnaw away at it. So the Cartagnan is the bad guy, then. So, as an explanation, Acer, this person is explaining the plot of the movie, where this dog is basically this car dog is an actor, basically. The whole film ends with the three cars chasing each other off the hills at Power Falls, possibly the greatest climax in cinematic history. The cars are going to be write-offs, though, so we better get that one right the first time or else, lols. Sir, if you played in a movie with Esther, even as a child, Esther was like did her last movie in like the 60s. You are too old to be using lols. So this sounds like the blue police box is going to be involved at some point, if only for the time travel and absurdity ports. Damien, time travel is a canon thing in PowerWash Simulator. And it involves what looks like a flying saucer, which causes a lot of confusion for a lot of people. But yeah, no shit, time travel is genuinely a thing in this universe. No police boxes, unfortunately. Yep, a case of how do you do, fellow kids vibes. Yeah, absolutely. This whole... I mean... And it does kind of sound like he's taking this whole movie very seriously, although it's a very This is like when they were trying to make a bunch of Herbie movies. These are just for kids. They cannot be taken seriously. I think I babbled about it last time, but in the original, one of the big plot twists of the first PowerWash sim, which, unfortunately, because this is a direct sequel, I have to spoil, because it's directly relevant to the plot. Oh my god, it barked. Basically, the corrupt mayor partnered up with a billionaire to mine in the volcano to try to get a super rare mineral, and dug too deep. And had things stayed the way they were, it would have resulted in an end of the world scenario where the planet got really badly damaged, basically. It became uninhabitable for the most part. Time travelers show up at the point where are like, hey, we're here to, help you fix this. And basically, they jumped all around time. They basically make your character a god to a set of ancient civilizations called the pacifists, and they create an artifact and monuments that are able to stop the volcano from erupting and destroying the planet. Digging in a volcano sounds like somebody I know. Balrog, kinda. But yeah, that was basically how the first game ended, is we stopped the volcano. We helped clean stuff and stop the volcano from erupting, and the time travelers went back to their own time. Now that's what I call a silver screen service. We're on our way to the dog grooming salon. It's gonna be utter carnage. Thinking about it, maybe we should have filmed them the other way around? Oh well, live and learn, huh? See you around, probably sooner than you think. P.S. Car technician says woof, lols. And the billboard. I wish I could not do this job, but I have to, because it's by the corrupt mayor, Jeff Jefferson the 13th? Dirt Finder. It appears both of us are going up in the world. I become the new mayor of the Caldera County in its entirety, while you are to wash my flagship billboard 30 feet above the interstate, due south of the Luber City, inadvertently dirtied by a process that doesn't concern you. I must confess to still harboring grave concerns as to your character, but I remain committed to your sublimity as a power washer. It would be remiss of me not to exploit the talents of someone when it is within my powers to do so. Much obliged. I hate this fucker, and I don't know how he's not in prison for embezzling a shit ton of money and directly taking several actions that basically resulted in a drought in the entire county and almost causing the apocalypse. But just like in the first game, gotta do jobs from him. Let him pay you for a job and use that very money he paid to launch campaigns against him and hire a PI to get dirt on him. Can we say impeachment? I wish. Get dirt on him? And he's worried about my character because I exposed him for being a corrupt douchebag in the first game. I know we've had our run-ins in the past, but I think it's time we let water pass under the bridge, or in this case, over the interstate. I did not steal his cat. His cat just... I found his cat at the end of the first game. You discover that his cat has been... Ulysses has been living... like, snuck into the back of your car. And she has kittens. And this game is apparently set a couple years after the first game. Wayne, hello, my dear. I hope you're having a good night. Thank you for popping in. Oh shoot, I forgot to look out for the babies. Okay, here's Ulysses. And mind you, so Ulysses used to belong to the mayor, Jeff Jefferson. And he cared so little for her that he doesn't even know that she's female. He called her Ulysses, and he used her as a prop. But she's a good girl. Now, where are your children's? Yeah. Oh, hello, Ben. Thank you for popping in. I hope you're having a good night. Yeah, Ulysses. It's such a good name. And these are her children's. We've got Squeak and Bubbles. I do love how in this light they look a lot different. Like Squeak's got a white tummy and Bubbles has a darker, more orange tint to their fur. Yeah, Ulysses had kittens. Yeah, Jefferson was a negligent cat owner, and we took Ulysses when she showed up in the back of our cleaning van. How do I type right with kitties around? That's so fair. Bubbles looks like they were rolling in clay. Yeah! They're such cute little guys, though. They show up in every level I've played so far in this game. All three kitties. They come with you on the job, I guess. But yeah, guys, thank you all for popping in tonight. I appreciate ya. Let's see. How much of this can I get without having to get... Oh, I don't have the extra long one yet. Next job, clean the cats with a tiny gentler spray. That would be so cute. Although actually, the game doesn't let you. The game, like, if your mouse is anywhere close to the kitties, it does not let you spray the kitties. Which I'm obviously glad of, because I think I would get very upset if I accidentally sprayed the babies. Yeah, I'm very glad that I can't accidentally spray the children's. Well, like, I guarantee you that was anti, like, you know that there would be players out there who would instantly try to spray the kitties. And I'm really glad that the devs were like, nah, we're just gonna cut that off at the pass. We're not even gonna give that option. And frankly, it's kind of necessary. I've accidentally stepped on a cat in real life, and in a game I felt so bad. Oh man. Little Ray, Ray is not the brightest creature. I think I've told y'all, she's our little orange. And she's not. I love her dearly, but goodness, she's just a little brainlet. She ain't got nothing going on upstairs. And the amount of times, like, I will be walking and she will dart in front of my feet, just in time for me to step on her, or step on some small part of her. It's just like, baby, no, please. Brilliant devs. On the other hand, let us shoot the dog and duck hunt. Sure, every cat owner has accidentally stepped on a cat. We were all just like, oh no, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's... Genuinely, I think it's inevitable. Because cats, I think they misunderstand. I think they're just not always that good at predicting our movements as humans, because we move so differently from them. And then, like, they're trying to do something or see something, and they don't really register that we're not, and then some cats are just brainlets. Makes sense. I found out yesterday that pressure water can cut flesh. That would be very bad for the... Yes, absolutely. So there's actually... Yeah, if sufficiently strong enough, power washers can cause significant damage to bodies. That reminds me, I still have to go back and play some of those. It's called Community. Like, I don't know if they were made by actual community members or were inspired by suggestions from the community, but there's a couple new-ish levels in Crime Scene Cleaner that I still have to do. Okie doke, see you later, Acer. Even the lightest step on the cat instantly comes with this profuse need to apologize to said baby. It's true, it's true. We have to humble ourselves, because we're like, oh no, because the baby will not understand that we did not do it on purpose. Baby kitty just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I do believe I've heard of water pipes rupturing with enough pressure to practically tear maintenance workers in half. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of hazards with tech in general, and high pressure water. Even if we're leaving outside the fact that there could be temperature-based damage from, let's say, steam. Yeah, this is great. High pressure water can cause way more damage than people give it credit for. Baby will definitely understand the apology, yeah. Bobby Wicks. Everyone heard about this new Town of the Year competition? I love the fact that I'm just in several group chats with various people of the town now. Muck's gonna win for surezies. 100%. What other town has a statue that fires a beam from its pineal gland into a dormant volcano for seemingly no reason? Well, not anymore, huh, Percy? Muckingham started as a hamlet for the dung collectors of Pumpton Stable. We've come a long way. I love all of these characters. A lot of them showed up in the first Power Wash sim, and to know that our character stayed in touch with them is honestly really heartwarming. It's really sweet. Okay. Don't stop me from talking to them like they understand every word. Yeah, it's true. Me and one of my roommates will sometimes try to chill and do stuff in the living room. Like last night we watched the new Knives Out movie, and Ray doesn't like that because that's the roommate who is Ray's person, and Ray is like, but why would you be out here when we could be in bedroom? So she becomes a nuisance, and there's kind of a limited time frame where you can do things before her shenanigans become too much. I love her, but she can definitely cause problems. Now, I only actually watched half of it, the latter half. They explained to me what I missed, but I had missed the first half because they texted me to say they were going to be watching it in the living room with our other roommate, and I didn't see that text. I had my notifications muted. And I was also taking a little bit of a nap, so I didn't see it. And then I came out halfway through, and then they explained everything to me. That, even with missing, like, genuinely half the movie, I was really impressed. The thing I really do appreciate about the franchise so far is that they're always a good mystery. It kind of makes sense. There's always, it is self-aware of the fact that it is a detective, a mystery thing, and that there's certain tropes in this type of thing. And it plays into those tropes while being aware of it, which I think is just so, it's very fun. And then you've got the fact that, like, they're never just a mystery in and of itself. There's always a deeper conversation on certain societal norms going on. During the movie. Like, in the first film, of course, you have the narrative that has to do with, racism and discrimination and privilege and all of that, and ableism to a certain degree. You have that narrative going. And then, to be honest, I have yet to see Glass Onion. I didn't see it in theaters, and I just haven't sat down to watch it yet, so I'm not going to pretend to know something about it when I don't. But there was a lot of, from the half of what I saw of the Wake Up Dead Man. Wait, was that the name of this? I think that's the name of this, right? I'm sounding very intellectual today. But, like, it wasn't even just about religion. It was also about, like, it was also a discussion of privilege and a discussion of, like, stereotypes and the power of the church for good and for ill, as well as what people want is not always what they're gonna get, and the degrees to which folks will go to get what they want. Which I guess that last piece has always been included in the Knives Out series. People's, to what extent will people go to? And what is the exact reason for going that far? Whether it be money, or, power, influence. Oh, sorry, Ulysses. A good book deal in some cases. I don't know, it's interesting and thought-provoking, and I think that's why it works excellently as both an excellent mystery in and of itself every time, but also a meta narrative that has a various levels of subtlety. The English major in me is happy, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let's finish up these side lights and this banister, and then we will get on to the rest of it. Oh, and part of, actually, one of the conversations my roommate and I, who is also an English major, we're talking about how it appeals to many different types of viewers. Because you've got people who are going to just see the mystery on a surface level, and that's it, that's all, they're not really going to see it beyond the text. They're not, and a lot of people are not going to read the subtext. And, there's a lot to be said with media literacy, and how that has been going down lately. A lot of people are just simply not trained or not even necessarily trained. There's a lot of media illiteracy going on in the current generation and in a couple ones previously. Which makes movies like this, where there is so much subtext, a treat. So what do you think of my Town of the Year initiative? I think you're a crook. Nothing like a dose of healthy competition to unite a community, wouldn't you agree? I will never agree with anything you say. You embezzled a great deal of the town's money, and then tried to blame various other people about it in the first game, sir, and I don't like you. Were those paw prints on the... Shoot! I wish I'd seen your comment before I cleaned it. Let me put the hatch back up. Those are handprints, it looks like. Yeah, they're too big to be paw prints. Oh wait, I wanted you... Can you go back up, please? Thank you. Because this hatch is still dirty. Yeah, that passing, they appeared to be paw prints. Yeah, I would agree. We got our first proper snow here in this city. We've had a little bit here and there previously, but this is the first time we've gotten anything that has stuck. So we shall see how that goes. And I hope you guys are all staying warm and safe wherever you are, in the various states. This is Sesame Watch, I'll be on a bit. Lurky to work on holiday cards. Oh, I'm glad Ben, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for popping by. I appreciate it. Scary. Oh my goodness. That's such a cute gif. We got snow here today too. It's cold today. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It took a bit for winter to properly arrive, but it has come in with a vengeance. I will be glad, though, that, once maintenance is done on my part of the train line. That's Junior, my new doggy. Well, she's almost 2 and sitting this. Aw, Junior! That's right, I've seen you post about Junior. Oof, low tonight's 14. Definitely stay bundled up. Yeah, it's gotten right winter here too. Mission can have some real cold snaps and proper winter happened. Yeah, that sounds about right. We were, slowly meandering towards winter for a while in my area, and then last Monday it abruptly went to like almost single digit temperatures. At certain points it dipped into single digit, and since then it has been like, okay, winter's here officially. Yeah, stay warm, everybody. Where some of my friends are, and where some of my family is, further north in New England, it got into the negatives last week. So that's, less than ideal. Welcome back! What? Office in the basement is pretty cool. Down here I gotta cover the windows soon. Yeah, that's fair. The wind chill's got to double negatives in some places, but I was just 6 to 4. That tracks. Yeah, it's the wind, really, that causes a lot of trouble. Where I work, the walk from my train, from the closest train station to my job, where I work, that building goes over a bridge that goes over water. And it's not a very, far bridge. It's not a very long bridge, but that one walk is probably the most arduous part of my commute during the winter because it's just pure wind. I'm hoping for a good snow. Yeah, that's fair. Oh my goodness, cherry sprouts! Hello! I don't know why my raid noise and whatnot didn't go off. Sorry about that. Hello, my dears. Thank you so much for popping. Oh, there we go. There it goes. That was delayed. Hello, everybody. Cherry Sprout, thank you so much for popping in and bringing in your community. What were you guys playing tonight? Oh, Esky Boy, thank you for the follow. And Bean. This game is a lot of fun. Dispatch? Ooh, what kind of game is that? Is that what it sounds like? Like a management game about, like, emergency services type thing? I very much appreciate the follow, hun. So my name is Shara. I'm your friendly neighborhood special kid. And, I'm also, your certified mom friend TM. I do tend to play relatively chill games. On Wednesdays, I usually play Borderlands or another action game with friends, and then on Fridays I usually do a Final Fantasy game, and Sundays are usually my chill time. It's choose your own story superhero game. I love that so much. I might have to check that out. By the way, Dirt Finder, I need my cat back. The photo ops are gearing up, and of course he'll be needed for my promotional tour of the country with his hat. Jefferson, you don't even know that your cat's a girl. You're not a good owner. I don't want to give Ulysses back to you, sir. But yeah, guys, I very much appreciate you popping by. I love chill games. They're like a good solid chunk of my repertoire. Chill games, RPGs, hidden object games. On Wednesdays, we've been playing... Actually, for a couple years now, I've been playing Borderlands and other similar games on Wednesdays with Kit the Fox and a couple other streamers. Also, what am I doing? Sorry about that. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I hope you are all staying safe and warm wherever you are. And thank you for bringing your folks over. I might genuinely check out the game you mentioned, because superheroes are my jam. Superheroes have been my jam for many years. It's funny, because when I first started being on the internet in college and whatnot, it was in part due to wanting to be part of the wider superhero fan community with Young Avengers and Young Justice. It's very much a mature game. Oh, good to know. Like, is it, like, by mature do you mean like a combination of, like, violence and, like, sexual content, or like... I bet you Dispatch would vibe. You know, you're probably right. I do occasionally play, like, more serious or more, in-depth games. Swearing, violent, sexual content. Yeah, that's fine. I might give it a shot at some point here. Here, give me a sec. I'm gonna add this to my to-checkout list. And save. There we go. That's fair, given I do play Borderlands on the regular, and, and other similar games, so There's plenty of that in those as well. You'll come to love the characters as you play the game. Oh, I love that. I really do love superhero stuff. One of my special interests is like DC, but it's also everything to do with Spider-Man. Gotta feed your pup? Yeah, no, do what you gotta do post-stream. Do what you gotta do. Also, if it is feeding times for pets, that is the priority. Oh. Well, an attempt was made. Okay, so there's that. Side. Front frame. Okay. Alright, so that's done. Welcome back, Acer. Some friends arrived while you were gone. It does have censoring options for things and the more sexual things so you can make it streaming safe. Excellent, good to know. I did play all of Crime Scene Cleaner in streamer mode, which there's still a lot of blood and corpses, but all the blood was rainbow colored, so that was more amusing than anything else. Good to know, though. I do like it when things are safer for streaming. Now let's see. Can I sort of... I guess this is kind of a silly way to do it, but I guess it works. I feel like I'm gonna fall off at any second here. Now I wonder, is there... Whoop! Now I do know I have this thing, and it's basically you're in a... Actually, yeah, this is probably a better idea. This is kind of cool, because it's this, and it's a harness you're in. Wicked useful. Because, of course, we can't really get ladders up here. Why don't I take a sec and do this back frame before moving to the front? Because I want to get everything else clean before I move on to the actual, the front of the billboard. I like to save the most fun part of a level for last. We need wings like a jetpack. I mean, you're not wrong. That would be useful. Yeah, I feel like being able to fly as a power washer would certainly make your job a great deal easier. I'll ask Cherry when they come back, but, maybe a hover pack like they have in Satisfactory. True! Aw man, Satisfactory can get so unhinged. I love it. Of course, I'm going off of the likes of, say, Let's Game It Out. If you have never seen any of his Satisfactory or his stuff in general, his YouTube channel is hilarious, and he also streams now, so... This is not sponsored in any way. I just love his content because he's hilarious. Real true gremlin energy. Yes, Josh is delightful. I do have to ask, and I'll ask Cherry when they get back, how did y'all find my channel? I don't think I've interacted with Cherry before. I'm just curious. It's not really all that important. Before I moved down here to the city, I had never in my life seen a billboard. Someone in the stream? Oh, well, that was very kind of them. If they're still here post-raid, thank you. And I hope you guys enjoy your stay in my channel. Man, I will say though, just look at this. In comparison, like, the stuff in the first game. Oh, that was you, Kevin. I thought I recognized your name from other stuff, but I didn't want to say anything in case I was wrong. Oh, sorry, give me a sec. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hit the wrong button on my side of things. Oh, I thought that was how I'd seen your name before, but I wasn't sure. Is the mayor serious? He can't take Ulysses back. What about the kittens? Yeah, that's also my concern. Ulysses doesn't even know, or the mayor doesn't even know that Ulysses is a lady cat. I can't let him take Ulysses back, and he's certainly not going to take her kittens. Squeak and Bubbles are ours. But yeah, thank you for the explanation, my dear. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you, bringing folks over. Or the suggestion, rather, that resulted. Okay, am I missing... Here, nope, down a little bit. Not me treating, I guess the controls are slightly similar to the flying in Kingdom Hearts. Now let's see, what am I missing? I'd like to get some of this done before I tackle... Yeah, I'd like to get whatever's not clean on the rest of it. I want to get that done before I tackle the front. Because I kind of like it when stuff comes together. And thank you for the follow as well. Cherry, Esky Boy, and Bean 7v7. I appreciate all of you. I do like it when a plan comes together. I try not to be... I get weirdly... I guess neurotic is not the correct term for it. I like cleaning things in a specific... Like, I'm not wordsing very well right now. What I'm trying to express is that I like it when I get completely done with an entire section and there's no stragglers I have to hunt down after the fact. Like, I'll finish cleaning everything and I think it's all done and then there's a handful of stragglers. I don't like that. Now, my question is... What? Oh, is that it? Yep, that was it. Oh. Oh, are you dirty on the other side? Yep. Well, let's do the frame real quick. ADHD, you're not wrong. Your girl do be a little... I may not be legally, diagnosed, but if I don't have it, I would be shocked. Too many symptoms are in common. Yeah, not diagnosed, but we're pretty sure. If not, then something else is going on. Also, hello, Kit. I was actually a good chunk of the way through the process of I was in the middle of scheduling the official tests to get actually diagnosed when I got let go from my previous job a couple years ago. And since then, after I found this new job, I've been wanting to start that up again. The trouble being that, I don't know why, but this new job keeps changing its health providers every couple of months, which means getting a you know, a doctor that stays the same is like impossible. maybe next year. Also, hello Kit, thank you for popping in. I hope you're having a good night. How goes it, my dude? Yeah, like, on the one hand, part of me does think that getting diagnosed properly for ADHD and possible autism would be useful, because I've got a lot of symptoms that it could be both, it could be either. It's hard to say because a lot of this stuff is common in both. But, is complicated. I keep doing that. Okay. No, I want to do we have anything else? Yes. The front frame is not yet clean. Oh, I didn't jump off. I guess I gotta be more careful. Yeah, I thought I recognized I thought I recognized Kevin's name, but I was like, I didn't want to say, oh hi Kevin, I know you from Kidstream, and it ended up being the wrong Kevin, if you know what I mean. I need to catch more Sora Starlight's streams. They seem like an excellent bean. There's been several times where I made an assumption that somebody was someone because they had a similar username, and it turned out to not be them, and it's so embarrassing. I wish we could just like pry off Jeff Jefferson's name off of this billboard. He's such a jackwagon. This ain't about you, sir. We don't like you. So I love the names in this game. These are town names, city names. Spongely, Suds, East Pumpton, Power Falls, Muckingham, which is the town we played in mostly in the first game, Detergento, Fumarole, Bucketon, Lubricity, Washingham, Sparkleton. And I think I mentioned last time too that it reminds me of similar names for towns in train station renovation. They're also similarly like Cleanington or something like that. I propose Shara do an Oregon Trail. Okay, Oregon Trail or Oregon Trail? Either way, I will do my best, but anyone we name, like, if I name the characters after everybody, please be aware that you will die. The answer is yes. Well, I guess we'll have to give it a shot then. I'm actually debating if I want to do more of this next Sunday or if I want to switch it up and do another game. I don't think I'd want to do Oregon Trail right away, but I could. Oh, by the way, all of these animals are these different towns' mascots. I was thinking about going back and doing the last couple levels of Crime Scene Cleaner that we haven't played yet. The side mission ones. Because they're kind of meta. I want to still do a visual novel. Yes, that is definitely on our to-do list for sure. Ooh. What town does that top hat vulture go to? I honestly don't know. I don't know what characters go to what town. I'm hoping that this is peak cleaning. We're looking for someone to clean up our tea room over at Power Falls. That's cute. So this is Ulysses in this art. Yeah, I genuinely don't know who else is what goes to what town. Either way, I do enjoy the fact that this implies that someone out there in one of the towns has a pet vulture. I love how it doesn't show like any of the ladders or anything, so our character just looks like they're levitating, and that makes me so happy. Dirt Finder. I'm sure we're both more than happy to forget everything that has happened and to forge an incredible future together, side by side. No, fuck you. Well, not side by side. I'll be in front. And above. Eat my entire ass, Jefferson. Go get a food! Teapot tea room. Story jobs. Oh, that's just main story. Isn't it astonishing how the universe works? We just finished our annual karmic mud-flinging workshop, and we're looking at our wonderful tea room, covered top to bottom, and what my assistant asked... Covered top to bottom, when my assistant asked if it would ever be clean again. I laughed and said, of course it will, and at that exact moment, a flyer for a power washing company blew into the courtyard and stuck itself to the wall. Whilst the mud made that one unreadable, it reminded me that we already had your number from Harper, who'd had a great time at our workshop. Jeff Jefferson, the 13th specifically, he used to be the former mayor of Muckington and is now the mayor of the entire Caldera, so the whole county. Basically, in the first game, in PowerWash Sim 1, he was a greedy bastard who embezzled a lot of money from the town, who directly funneled a lot of the town's water supply into his illegal mining operation with this billionaire, and them drilling into the volcano would have caused an end-of-the-world scenario had a time traveler not showed up and basically helped mitigate the end of the world. Yes, this is canon to a Power Washer sim game. It is hilarious and buckwild. But yeah, no, Ollie Dowdy, and I don't know how he's not in jail. Also, he used to own Ulysses, who's the kitty, and is such a terrible pet owner that he didn't even know that Ulysses was a she. So, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. We've got gnomes who are ever present, and now as is our tradition at the start of every level, we gotta find where the kitty cats. Is your character the time traveler in question? No! We are not a time traveler. We just got befriended by some time travelers. They came back and they helped mitigate the end of the end of the world, or stop it from happening. And we helped by cleaning a bunch of old temples and ruins. That basically, there was one of them that fired a beam at the volcano and stopped it from erupting. By the way, my dears, an ad's coming in about 30 seconds here. Also, hello, my childrens! So this is Ulysses. This is Jefferson's kitty that he just uses as a prop and doesn't treat her well. So that's why she's living with us now. And her two kittens. We've got Squeak. And we've got Bubbles. Oop, ad is about to start, my dears. Sorry about that. I'm gonna continue cleaning through. Don't know if you've ever tried karmic mud flinging. It's quite amazing. It's kind of like a less destructive, just, you know, the break rooms, where people go to break stuff, I suppose. First, you think of anyone who has ever wronged you. Then you pick up a big dollop of mud and fling it whilst uttering what we call the expletives of forgiveness. Yeah, honestly, that sounds pretty rad. But yeah, anyone interested in the lore, I genuinely recommend playing the first game. And I didn't even really want to spoil what happened. It's just, like, this is a direct continuation of the first game, meaning that there's spoilers for what happened in that game literally everywhere. So it's kind of impossible to play this game without spoiling the events of the first game. The lore! It is true. But it is honestly, I honestly hate to spoil it because it's such a fun build-up slowly over time in really subtle ways, and it's just, I don't know. I really enjoy PowerWash Sim and so what I've seen so far of the second one. By the way, as some of you may have seen, the pinned post in chat is where I got the music for background music for this stream. They will also be linked to when I put this as a VOD on my YouTube channel, which is linked to in my About. I love the texture of this. They've really, I mean, look at this. And this is even with my quality, the visual quality down for performance. Like, look at this. They've really gotten so much better at texture versus the first game. It's impressive. And that's not even to say what was in the previous game was bad. It wasn't. But it's a noticeable improvement in the quality of the graphics and the environments in this one. I mean, again, my graphics are still on medium, not even high or extra, you know, extra, but it's still really pretty. Proud of you for what? For eating? Because if so, yes, I am proud of you for eating supper. Thank you for taking care of yourself, my dear. Also, welcome back, folks. Thank you for putting up with the ad. Having one of those an hour means that we don't get interrupted by ads the rest of the time. Thank you for putting up with the ads. One of those an hour means we don't have to deal with it for no pre-rolls and don't have to deal with it the rest of the time. You put up more VODs? I am proud of you. I do think I think it is kind of important to record stuff like that. I probably should edit my VODs more, but I really don't. One of these days I'll actually get around to editing more videos. I'm not happy with all my VODs. I mean, I'm not happy with all of mine either. But I think it's... I want to get the rest of my Crash 3 VODs up, but I need new backgrounds. I believe you can do it. I think finding a style that is relatively easy saves you a great deal of time, for as far as thumbnails go. 100% just raw toss some VODs up. I don't have time for nicer edits. Yeah, I don't edit my VODs. If I want to make something out of them, I will do either a different recording or I will just chop up the VOD to use it for something else. So I have to ask, does SpongeBob Stages of PowerWash Sim have anything to do with lore, or are they just for funsies? So, you get... those levels are incredibly fun. Kit did them with me on one stream. So they don't have... So all of the DLC for PowerWash Sim are completely separate from the base game. The implication is that you are a different power washer for all of the for all of the DLCs. Like for the SpongeBob one, you are literally a fish. So, and then like for the Wallace and Gromit, you're one of Wallace's little creations. That said, though, I really appreciate all of the DLC. Like, I like the SpongeBob one, because you get the jobs from characters, and they are directly relevant. Like, you get to clean the paddy wagon, the invisible boatmobile, the inside of the Mermalair, the outside of SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward's houses. And mind you, although it is true that they've got, contracts with bigger companies now, like Squeenix and whatnot, the folks who make PowerWash Sim, they're still technically an indie company. So I'm evil. I don't know, I'm impressed by them. I like the fact that they genuinely put a lot of time and effort into their game. I like that they partnered with, like, a university to do research on, like, the stress-reducing properties of their game and propose letting people play it for a while to see if it would help with their stress levels, and it actually does seem to have helped per that university study. They sponsored RT Game and I think Mango to do a real-life power washer event for, like, I think charity. Not to glaze them up too much. That's the word that the kids use now, right? Glaze? No, you didn't miss too much, hon. We were just now cleaning this teapot style, or teapot shaped cottage, I guess? I feel like this has to be in the same general area as that other cottage we cleaned last stream. Yeah, I just turned 35 a couple days ago. I'm not the gal. My roommate's little brother has turned 21 recently, but speaks almost entirely in the new... Is it Gen Alpha? The newer ones? The ones who are doing all the slang and such? Like, he speaks almost exclusively in that, and it makes him incomprehensible to either one of us. We have to get, like, a fucking translator. Thank you, Damien. I think that's hard to say, I think, because there is a bit of an overlap there. I really don't know which of them who's doing all of the newer more incomprehensible slang. Like the Riz and the skibbity toilet nonsense. Like, I don't know. I truly don't know. Hey, Wishy, hear you're down at the Tea of Tranquility today. How's it looking? Wasn't so tranquil there yesterday, I can tell you. In fact, it got downright feisty. Yeah, I think it is a combo of both. My best friend, her back home, her kids are now, I think, 11, 9, and 7, respectively, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong, but they're in roughly those age groups, and they speak almost exclusively in the slang, and it makes communicating with them difficult. And the thing is, I do remember, like my generation, those of us using a lot of slang in like college and high school, but I don't remember people using it like in every single sentence. I know I saw some video on YouTube where someone gave the high school commencement speech in the slang. Ugh. Like, there's been a couple of videos where people have done like, oh, one I watched. Okay, so Final Fantasy XIV, which I also play on the regular. At the end of, Balthazar's big, like, meme-done speech. Like the, such devastation, I never intended for this. Like that whole speech, somebody did that in that slang, and I felt like I was having a stroke watching that video. I was like, I don't know how to feel about this. But then again, like, and I'm not saying this to disparage these generations. I'm not saying to be rude about them. I'm just like, it just makes me feel old, because I'm like, I know for a fact that we used a lot of quotes and memes and jokes and slang growing up when I was in high school and whatnot. I do not remember it becoming this, like, where every single sentence or every other sentence that someone is speaking has a reference in it. I do not remember that being part of my generation. But I could also just not be remembering it very clearly. I think the slang's a product of the media atmosphere. Yeah, I think you're right. There's a weird homogenization in some respects. I think that the generation that grew up when they were still small, young children around COVID, I genuinely feel like that was damaging. Being unable to have, like, a lot of face-to-face interaction with a lot of their peers outside of the internet. I don't think that was good for them. The YouTube generation especially is hit with this new layer of random memery. Yeah, it's definitely fascinating. Though I'm taking a break, I got part of the way through the most recent expansion, and I was like, I'm not as into this as much as I was during Endwalker and Shadowbringers. Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I actually have been refraining from even buying Dawntrail, because I want to completely do everything on Keldred, my original character, before I, like, everything that is post-game. Post-Endwalker. I want to complete everything, all of that content, before I move on to the content of Dawntrail, because otherwise I'll keep procrastinating. As it is, on Fridays, I have slowly been going through the game from the beginning again, from A Realm Reborn onward, with a new character. And progress is pretty slow because I'm taking the time to do a lot of missions and read everything out loud, so of course it's taking a while. But it's also been, honestly, really fun. They've changed a great deal. I first played through the game for the first time 12-ish years ago. So there's been a lot of minor changes to the story and whatnot since I first played through A Realm Reborn. Because I hadn't played it again since my first playthrough. So it's definitely been fun to see the changes they've made, but also to re-experience the game in the context of knowing what happens in the later expansions, if you know what I mean. I know a lot of people really have really been enjoying Dawn Trail, and I'm glad for them. I think my favorite is still gonna be Shadowbringers. And honestly, A Realm Reborn. I know a lot of people hate A Realm Reborn, but I really love it in all of its messy glory. Because without A Realm Reborn, you don't have the rest of... It is the foundation upon which the rest of the entire game is built. Now, where is the tiny bit of dirt that is hiding on this square? Oh, there we are. Okay. I was just thinking the other night of that one house in the dwarf section, one of the dwarf towns in Endwalker, that only Lollifuls can get into, and it made me chuckle. I may or may not have made a Yazael about Doppelganger to do a replay through. That's so valid, though. You know what? Yazael deserved so much. She deserves so much. She deserved to be able to see the world. And the idea of her getting to do that like this is really heartwarming. But yeah, if you ever want to see me slowly going through FF14 from the get-go, that's usually me on Fridays. Hopefully I can actually, get home on time to do that this week, though. This past week I had to call off my Friday stream because they're doing track maintenance on the trains, and one of the trains I use got stopped for long enough that I had to just not stream. So I'm looking forward to getting back into it, and by the time I do, which will be this upcoming Friday, I should look at the times, because I'm not sure if the Christmas event will have started by then or not. Okay, well I might as well do these, and then the house. I always look forward to the holiday events, to be honest. 'Cause like if you're brand new, it's always something slightly different. So it's equally delightful to me as both a player who's doing the holiday events for the first time, but there's also like little lines of dialogue if you're somebody who has played the holiday events before as part of the ongoing storyline. I love that. I was inspired by other people that I've made. Godbert, Hildebrand, and Nash, player characters to make. Oh, I love that so much. The last stream I had of FF14, I finished out the Realm Reborn Hildebrand quests. I had been doing them for several weeks before then, and we finally finished them for good last week. Not last week, but the week before. I love the Hildebrand stuff. It's so ridiculous, but it's also like so heartfelt at the same time. It's like it's impossible to hate Hildy. I love Hildy so much. I can't wait to show people the ones for Heavensward. I'm sad we didn't get any during Shadowbringers. I know. I understand why not, because the setting of that one would have made it difficult. They would have had to set it, I guess, in the place where we don't spend most of that expansion. Back home. So I kinda get it, but at the same time, I'm so glad they brought them back for, They did bring them back for Endwalker, right? I do think it was a missed opportunity, though, because can you imagine what a Shadowbringers version of Hildebrand would have been like? Can you imagine it? Not to say much more about it, because I don't really want to spoil anything on stream about the setting and details of Shadowbringers, but oh my god. The possibilities would have been endless. Maybe the setting for... I guess the setting got in the way for that, thinking about it. And also, I wonder if that expansion was just too serious. Don't know. It's probably genuinely going to take several years of slowly playing the game for me to get on, like, once a week on stream for me to get to Shadowbringers. But I'm still willing to do it. Because, you know, part of why I started playing the game again from the get-go on stream was to show off the lore and story to my friends who either cannot play or don't, you know, can't afford to play the game. To be fair, 95% of it was due to this huge fella from the boonies. Honestly, you should have seen him. He had the silhouette of a Sasquatch and the karmic footprint of an angry wasp. Hildy and Nashu could make a special cameo in the Heroes Gauntlet dungeon. Yes, they got ones in Endwalkers as they were actually tied to the ruck. Really? I hadn't even started a lot of that stuff yet, honestly. I was focused on other stuff. I hadn't really been playing on my main much, and she's the one who I'd finished Endwalker on. Well, clearly I'm going to have to take some time on my main and look into that because that's delightful. Okay, let's see. Well, I guess we can start from the bottom. I believe Hildy and Nasha can show up in some bushes outside the final boss area of the Heroes Gauntlet. It is supposedly super rare. Well, I guess I'm going to have to keep an eye out whenever I'm in that area. I love that. I'd love to know what the inside of this place looks like, to be honest. I'm very glad that after I just had to deal with the train maintenance stuff for just this week, and then it's done. I'm so happy because it's, oof. It definitely adds a good chunk of time onto my already kind of long commute, but I shall live. If you played the End Quest of Stormblood, Hildy Quest, where they go with Kevin, is where you are in Shadowbringers, and when you start the Endwalker quest, you'll have to go back to get them. No, thank you. Yeah, no. We do want to be careful with spoilers, but that's great to know. It's honestly been, I think, several years since I did the Stormblood Hildy quests. So my memory isn't that good. All the more reason to do New Game Plus, maybe. For that section. I need to spend more time in 14 when I'm not doing the Realm Reborn stuff. I've missed it, and I should just take a little bit more time and play to make my sub more worth it. Oh, well, that's not exactly what I meant to do, but it works. I actually have plans. I currently have a tattoo on each of my pretty sizable tattoos on both of my upper arms, and I want to add to them because they're already flower related. I want to add a bunch of vines, and in and amongst the vines, I want there to be video game related flowers. So like the lily, the lily from Final Fantasy VII. The fire flower from Mario, Silent Princess from Zelda, and of course the Elpis flower. So it's gonna be quite some time before I can do such a tattoo because I have to save up money. But that is something I'd like to do at some point. Because it's like, I guess, a little bit more of a subtle nerd tattoo. And I actually really like more subtle fandom stuffs. This is very cute. I would love to come here and just get all my anger out by yeeting armfuls of mud. Now here's my question. Are you part of the same... Okay, so you're all part of the same thing. Got it. Which means that you are probably the leftover dirt. Did you ever do the fate called Prey No! I don't think I ever did, but that's hilarious! Wait, was this in the Segoli Desert or something, or was it in, the desert place for, Was it set in the desert place? With the really cool music? Then again, that doesn't narrow anything down. Shadowbringers has some of the best area music. Their music in general, the 14 in general has incredible music, but I really love the different area music in Shadowbringers and specifics. Was this... Now it's starting to ring a bell. Were we fighting the sand constructs, or the stone constructs that were like a head and hands poking out of the sand? Because if so, I may very well have. Sitting here is where you play with a train. Yes! Okay. Then I know the one you're talking about, yes. And it gave me a good chuckle. I, I do. I'm very fond of the fact that they allow. Square Enix is not a perfect company. They make a lot of really shitty decisions, but I do enjoy the fact that they let the American translators play around with things. Like, the amount of Hamilton references in the names and dialogue of stuff in Stormblood is just so funny to me. And that's only one of very many. There's just a lot of jokes and references in the names of fates and missions and sometimes even dialogue, and I very much enjoy it. It's clever. It's a good karmic release from the returning to the... Exactly. Something I did not know until I started this new playthrough from the beginning was that there's now an item. You now get a voucher if you play through the game from the beginning. That if you use that voucher, it teleports you to the Waking Sands. Now that is a quality of life improvement. As I told my chat, otherwise you would have to teleport to Horizon and then just run to the correct city on foot. The correct town. Actually, that doesn't even count as a town, does it? It's just like a port. So I am grateful for that quality of life improvement they made, because goodness, was that tedious. Did I already? Yeah. Hey Kit, are you still in the chat? I would like to do a poll. I think you're right, Calrintha. I think I remember that was part of the big streamlining they were doing for... Was that when they had added flying in a Realm Reborn areas after you beat the base game? New job. Aqua Regis? I wonder if you're free to wash down my shooting gallery at the Wengeroof Carnival. It's part of when they were adding the new Game Plus system. Yeah, I mean, that does track. It's part of why I'm so glad that I've been playing this game for so long. The little changes they made. I don't know, were you playing 14 back when in order to get your job, like, for example, to go from Lancer to Dragoon, you had to first get a few levels, I think up to level 15, in another relevant class first? Like, I think it was Archer for Dragoon? Or you would have to do that to get specific skills. Yeah. That was a time. I understand why they got rid of it. It was interesting, though. Yeah, the cross-class skills. Nowadays, they basically made the point moot, because a good chunk of DPS have the same stuff, like the second wind and whatnot. Well, I don't necessarily need that guy, because it's very tall, but you would be useful. Which is good, but I would just feel like I can customize my class as much as I could before. Yeah, I think there's definitely pros and cons to a lot of the changes they've made. I understand the logic behind some of the stuff they've made, or they've done, but there's still some changes that I'm not the happiest about. For example, the loss of the AoE, the Circle of Thorns for Dragoon, which was an AoE strike you could do in a circle around you. I won't lie, I'd like it if they borrowed the idea of a class and talent system from WoW. I don't know if they ever would. I feel like because I think they're kind of attached to the job system because it's like historic for Final Fantasy. I feel like the closest they would get to that would be Blue Mage, and we all know that Blue Mage is basically a joke class that's not really usable beyond a certain point. It would be cool though if they would experiment with it. I wonder if that's something they would even consider for the next MMO. Maxed out Blue Mage, honestly, if they let them play with the other classes, they'd be better than the other jobs. They can have some very broken abilities. That's true. I will say that I think I'm pretty relatively low level on Blue Mage, but some of the stuff they can do is pretty fun. I think you're gonna have to come say hi. There we go. They can tailor themselves to be any role, DPS, tank, or healer. Yeah, I think part of why they don't make Blue Mage into a full class is simply because the amount of balancing they'd have to do would be insane. But I think it would be worth it to have like a fun novel class like that. And it makes for some really fun, interesting world building. I'm worried that I'm gonna start out one of these levels in this game, and the kitties are gonna be gone, and that's how I found out that Jefferson took them. Because he wants Ulysses back. I don't think he's aware that the kittens exist. Because he still thinks Ulysses is a boy. Because he's an irresponsible pet owner, and I will die on this hill. There we go. In Dontra 7.5, they'll be adding the second limited job beast. That is something that several friends of mine have been very excited talking about. I didn't realize it was going to be a limited job. But, sir, you're going to have to go here. Still, what a view, huh? Gotta love working to that backdrop, with Rushless, all snow-covered and serene. Mount Rushless is the name of the volcano. The bounty dungeons stuff. That'll be cool. And then, like, if they had like another, I don't know, it would be really neat. I am all for limited jobs that can play together, and like so players can customize the classes and challenge themselves. I am a bit of a wimp, and I mostly stick to DPS because, boy, the anxiety that comes with trying to tank or heal is too much for me. Okay. So, okay, still should do you. Yep, exactly. It's Rushless instead of Rushmore. It's also the same volcano that almost, you know, erupted a bit ago. In universe. There's I don't know, there's a lot of little fun references in this game to real life stuff or to very tongue-in-cheek. Here, let me see how much I can get from up here without falling. I'm a warrior and scholar. Yeah! Massive respect. I'm a dragoon. With all the stereotypes that comes with that. Although I am, you know, I've gotten better as a player. I usually do Dancer, Black Mage, or Dragoon. I think a big part of what improved in this game is honestly the lighting. Textures, yes, but in like making level building to make them look like actual levels in actual locations, yes. But also the lighting. The quality of the lighting is so much better. Not that it was bad, it's just noticeably improved. Dragoon is my melee DPS, Red Mage is my ranged, Dancer is your ranged physical. Slowly trying to level. Yeah, no, that's legit. On my main, on Keldred, I'm up to level, I think 50 or 60 in all classes, with a handful of them up to cap, including my all of my crafters and gatherers. To be so fun fact. So Kit had been trying to get me into Final Fantasy XIV for a while, and I was sort of holding off on it because, like, you know, new MMO, I don't necessarily want to get too invested. And then he told me that there was cooking. And then I found a Tumblr blog that they haven't updated in years, but at that time they were doing every single level or every single item in the game in real life. By which I mean the culinary and stuff. And that was part of what got me to actually play the game, because I could be a culinarian. Yeah, crafters and gatherers, they're super duper useful. And honestly, really, really soothing. Sometimes frustrating, but also oftentimes just kind of chill. Yeah, repairing your gear is a big one. Oh, let's just focus on the wind. Let's focus on what we can get from the ground, and then we'll go back up. The fishing cruises, that is one thing I have yet to do. The fishing cruises. I just really didn't have the patience to do them. Fishing is actually my least favorite gatherer. And yet, I know many people who are very good at it and really enjoy it. And it's very much a case of each to their own, I think. I am glad that fishing is different than the other ones. Like, botanist and miner are just so... they look exactly the same. The mechanics are exactly the same. To have fishing be distinctly different in a way that makes sense for it to be different it's a really nice touch. It's the gather that is the most different. Yeah. Yeah, you can ask Kit. Like, one of the first things I did, I made, like, I think it was like the bacon broth recipe or something in real life. God, that was, like, that was before I started playing the game, so that was probably... It was at least a decade ago. I like that they made crafters and gatherers their own distinct jobs instead of just an add-on. I think that's part of why it works as well as it does. And that's also kind of why I love Hildebrand's parents. They are crafters. They're not like a warrior who happens to craft. They are crafters who can kick the shit out of you. I was joking that Hildy's mom is like life goals, wife goals. Like, I want to be her when I grow up. God, she is so fucking funny in the Heaven's Word. I can't wait to get Momo, my new character, to Heaven's Word to show everything off to folks. What I'm gonna be the most excited about is once we get to Shadowbringers on Momo. Well, people have seen me Gobbert PCs. Usually have Goldsmith. I mean, it's mandatory, right? It's mandatory. We still don't technically know what class Hildy is. Like, yes, he has used a spear, but I'm pretty sure he's also used a sword before. So it's like, sir, what class are you? We know you have fought before. And Nashu doesn't need a class. She's got her bombs. These should go for warriors. Their combat classes warriors can have a few axes that are in fact hammers. Oh, I love that. That's very clever. We need way more joke items in 14. Like joke items that can be used for whatchamacallit, for the pretties. No, she was a combat alchemist. Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. If this were D&D, she would be a oh, what's the name of it? There's a class for this in D&D. Artificer. Maybe? Then again, I think Nashu's intelligence and knowledge scores are too low to be an artificer. But her luck is through the damn roof. She gets good rolls. Thinking about thinking about the Hildebrand quests as being D&D, like a D&D campaign, makes it make infinitely more sense in my brain. It's just people dicking around. Like, Ellie was the DM insert character trying to keep the group on track with the plot, and everybody else was player characters that were fucking around. Probably in Pathfinder should definitely be an alchemist that can make bombs. True. No, but I think that genuinely changed something in my brain just now, thinking of them in terms of D&D. I've told this story several times, but whenever I play D&D or any kind of tabletop role-playing game, I have some of the worst rolls known to man. I either get a nat 1 or a nat 20, and there are some rolls in between, but not many. One time in college, in the same battle, actually it was the same session, I don't think the same battle, but in the same D&D session, my character was a half-elf warrior that was using a scythe. And, in the same session, I hit a nat 1 and, my character injured herself as a result. She impaled her foot with her scythe, and I took damage from it. And later on in that same, because I did nat 1, later on in the same session, I did a nat 20, and I sliced a Warforged in half. So my rolls are always, We joked a lot that my dice like either really we had a period of time where other people would roll for me and they would also get terrible luck. So I think I'm just cursed. There was a time that I did manage to do the right rolls to hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker in a later urban fantasy game we did in Shenanigans. So that was delightful. Okay, and then I think it's just no, actually. In this specific setting, I had a friend that played with it. He had the stupidest luck. So, in the context of the dude who hit someone with the other thing, this was a shenanigans game that was an urban fantasy one, and it was a homebrew by our DM Jay. It was very very good. And they were also the one who did um, a couple of our original campaigns in college. Okay. You have restored balance to the tea rooms. Stop by any time for a steamed bun and lavender tea on the house. That actually sounds fantastic. I don't think you ever saw him roll less than 14. That's so rad. Okay, so we've got an ad break coming in 2 minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and run that now so I can take a quick bathroom break. And when we come back from the ad, I will start this next level. But alright, my dears, I'll be back with you shortly. Alrighty, I have returned. Thanks for your patience. It is funny that your friend's DM made him change the dice. Oh well. Shooting gallery. Hello there. I opened up this morning to find my shooting gallery covered in cotton candy and burger relish. One of the other stall holders, Kevin, claims to have seen a mini twister swooshing through the carnival in the middle of the night. Bit strange, though. There's nothing on the news or on any of the other stalls. Think. Actually, thinking about this, I should check to see if I can get a better washer. Because right now I have this one, which is good, but not the best. Oh no, the next one is 5K. Okay, we're sticking with this one for now. Okay, you need to... Oh wait, the kitties! Where the kitties be? Okay, so a lot of what you're seeing in this carnival ground is from the first game. We cleaned this thing in the first game. Damn, we can't go out further. We also cleaned... There's a Ferris wheel, that one. We cleaned the Ferris wheel. We cleaned like a little house type thing that had like a little quote-unquote gypsy van outside. And I hate even using that phrase because it's a slur. It's just gypsy is a slur. But that's what they called it in the game. And we also cleaned, I think there was a merry-go-round as well. Can't see them all from here. Oh, never mind. Never mind. There it is. Oh, and there is the, I think... There's the van. The little wagon I was talking about. Oh, hello, Squeak. Okay, where's your sibling and your mom? Oh, well, there's one of your siblings. I can't get over there to pet them, though. Or, there's just two kittens and then the mum. Alright. Ulysses, where are you at, kitten? Oh? Oh, here's Ulysses. No, never mind, that's Squeak. I don't want to start the game proper until I find all the beans, though, is the thing. They're never on or near something we have to clean, so... What do you play? Okay. Ulysses, where are you at? Oh, Lady Row? Yeah! That's actually one of my alts. I've got a Lady Row. Oh, there you are. There's Ulysses. Okay, now we can get going proper. No, actually, not gonna lie, Lady Rows are some of my favorites. I do think that Squeenix is a coward for not making them more buff. That is a hill I will die on. But I do love them. I'm actually really shocked that they're not commonly played. They're so fucking pretty. But I get it. Like, the more female Aura and Viera especially, or in Mikote, if people are going to play a female character, they like the ones that are more stereotypically pretty. I'm kind of a weirdo. I will always play classes that are, if I'm going to play an MMO, I will usually give it a shot, and I will usually play both the tallest and the smallest character. Which is why my main characters, and the newer character, Momo, are female Lalafels. And then my alt, the one I use to play occasionally with my buddy Puck, is a Lady Rogadin. But, real talk, fuck the haters, Lady Rogadins are hot as shit. Big buff lady? Yes, thank you. I did make an alt just to see what it was like to play it, and I didn't really play for very long on this character, but I did make a Lady Hrothgar. And they're similarly fun, but again, I do think that Squeenix is a bit of a coward for making them more conventionally pretty than their male counterparts. It's like, no, if I want a cat with like a slouch, I want it in both sexes, thank you. Ah yeah, washing my stall with an actual proper power washer. It's like taking a monster truck onto the bumper cars. You probably like the character Barghest from Fate Grand Order. That name sounds really faintly familiar. Might be a character I've heard of before. It's like, listen, I like characters of all shapes and sizes. Everybody who's this, if you're just gonna have characters that are the same exact conventionally pretty shape, pass me by. I've got other things to do with my life. Having a couple such characters is fine. Having all your characters be like that is boring as shit, from a design standpoint and from like I guess a moral standpoint. People often call her a muscle mommy. Bless. I love that. If you're gonna have male characters of all shapes and sizes, Do the same for female characters, or stop being a coward. I think what I'm gonna do, because this is kind of a complex stage, I think I'm gonna do the outside, and then I'm gonna go do the roof. Yes, excellent. I will have to look into it. I have multiple friends that are fans of the Fate series in general. It's a gacha game. That sounds about right. I think almost every series has a gacha game at this point. Even fucking Madoka, I think, has a gacha game. We're just gonna spray wash these plushies off. Would the plushies just absorb most of this water? Yeah, but you know, don't worry about it. It's fine. FGO is one of the oldest gachas? Hmm. Interesting. Good to know. Well, then at least it comes by it honestly, I suppose. I'm still laughing at how badly the creators of Love Nikki dropped the ball with the newer Nikki game. The one that was more open world adventure-y. I feel like Here, I'll just I'll copy down here. Let me just Google it actually. Oh, she's fun. What a fun design. I kind of get why people were using that nickname for her. I do love a tall, strong lady, though. We'll never not love a tall, strong lady. That reminds me. I don't know if I would do it on stream because, having one long RPG going at a time is... Then again, FF14 is a lot longer than any other RPG I could play, probably, on stream. I was debating doing Tales of Arise, and that has a character who is not super tall, but is pretty buff. The knight character you get to meet at some point later, and she's very sweet. Infinity Nikki, I think, was the one I was thinking about, yes. Yeah, they really... Like, I watched Mugen's video on it, because it was a game that I had on my to-play list, but that I was staying away from, because I try to avoid all gacha games, after I spent a little bit too much at one point when I was younger on Love Nikki, specifically. So I kind of started avoiding any and all gachas until I could, like, learn better self-control. And I have. I've definitely I learned a lot more self-control over the years, so. And then I found out that, you know, just before I was actually getting ready to download it, that they fucked up the game. That they got rid of a lot of that they changed the opening cutscene and they cut out a lot of some of the characters' story, and then like the game just started really going downhill. Basically, the folks in charge did a lot of lying and like creative, financial tomfuckery. Let's say that. Yeah, I definitely am Much better at self-control than I was once upon a time. Yeah, basically they did a lot of straight up lying to their audience about... They set a certain... And I'm not going to get into it because it's kind of complicated and long term. I genuinely recommend watching Mujin's video about it on YouTube. About Infinity Nikki. Because he takes time to actually delve into stuff. Moral of the story, don't murder the goose that lays the golden eggs. 100%, and that was a big part of their problem is Infinity Nikki, Love Nikki. That was an untapped market. That was a gacha for girls. A dress-up doll gacha? Especially with Infinity Nikki, that was, you know, more of an action thing. Or not action, but an exploratory thing. Like, it didn't have any competitors. And they got greedy. And ruined it for themselves. They murdered the golden goose. And I don't think that company's ever going to recover, to be honest. It would take a lot of them changing their behavior. Which I don't necessarily see happening. PowerWash? Does this say PowerWash Simulator? Kevin, who is this person's coworker. Just what we need, a power washer at an attraction that was already brazenly wasting water. Sorry, Kevin, what? Okay, Cobb, don't get your cob on. So what we'll learn about Kevin here is that he is something of an entitled male Karen, and he owns a different stall nearby. I suppose we might as well clean a bunch of stuff while we're up here. Not exactly what I meant to do, but okay. Let's at least do the back of the sign real quick. These toys are so cute, though. These prizes. Alright, the whole reason I came up here in the first place was to finish cleaning the sign. There we go. Well, I suppose while I'm up here I might as well clean the roof. I did say that was one of the things I wanted to do. Ooh, a new job. Help! I've got my road sweeper in a real jam, literally. Did I should be careful to make sure I'm actually hitting all of these lights as I pass them. Oh, hello. Very curious leaf. I'm pretty sure it was, judging from some of the dialogue later, Kevin, this person's, somebody else who owns one of the nearby, stalls, we're pretty sure he's the one who did it. Judging from, like, his passive-aggressive attitude in the text towards the owner of the stall. Yeah, the different booths at this place. I can words. I guess that's what I guess that's what I get for walking across some round lights. Now, I have done some of these levels before, because I did play the game for a while off stream before resetting my save to the beginning. And, this level, this particular, like, the inside parts, once we get to them, of the shooting range, are just like kind of a love letter to the previous game. There's so many, it references so many of the previous levels. I love it. I'd wanted to actually stream this right when it first came out, but that ended up not happening because I wanted to first, finish Crime Scene Cleaner, the Nightmare levels. Huh, I didn't realize there was a bunch of water over there. But if Kevin was the one to make the place this dirty, I mean, that's a dick move, but it's also like, damn, you put your whole fucking ass into it, huh, buddy? Like, getting up here, getting all of this dirty, too? Not just, like, the main part of the booth? Damn. Okie doke. Thank you for chatting with me so long. I'll be going until this level's over at any rate. Kevin, you do know that I recycle my water. I've got trays that run along the bottom, constantly redirecting it all back into the spray guns. He tried to be a filthy animal. It's true. I thought you knew that. And Kevin, I did not. That would explain why your gallery gets progressively dirtier, cyclically. Nope. Okay, where all did I miss? Oh, dang. I almost just went off the roof. That would have been funny. Is it up here? The dirt I am missing, or is it just kind of in scattered dots? I guess I'll give it a once-over real quick. Well. Oh, I suppose I might as well get some of this from down here, then. Actually, can I jump up there? I think I can. Oh, okay. Well, because I'm down here, why don't I just go ahead and do these roof frills? Whatever this is stuck on real good. Is this inside and out? Yes. Oh my goodness! Gino! Hello, everybody! What were you playing tonight, Paisano? Thank you for bringing your community over. I hope you all had a wonderful night. Ooh, I gotta read this dialogue. Exactly, Kevin. I have to bleach the bejazzle out of it every third Sunday. I see. I'd previously attributed a noxious smell to the fumarole power station. I shall amend my online reviews of their premises. Kevin, you are such a male Karen. Paper Mario? Oh, hell yeah! That's right, I saw your post about that earlier. I hope you had a good time, and I appreciate you bringing your community by. For anybody who doesn't know, my name is Shara. I'm your friendly neighborhood special kid and mom friend. And I tend to play a lot of relatively chill games like this. I also spend some time on RPGs, hidden object games, and on Wednesdays I usually play with Kid the Fox and some other folks who do more action-oriented games. And every once in a great while there'll be an art stream. We're shooting both a baby ghost, Bo, and a literal baby, Watt. That's adorable. So I didn't have this system as when I was younger to play Paper Mario, but I learned a lot about the game because I was getting Nintendo Power at the time, and it had like a walkthrough for Paper Mario in there. So I like got knowledge about Paper Mario secondhand from Nintendo Power. And I remember Bo. I remember reading about Bo. But yeah, I hope you had a wonderful time. And I appreciate you bringing your community by. We are cleaning a this is the back side of a water gun shooty booth. Yeah. Please do follow Gino. For anyone who's watching and hasn't, he's an excellent bean. Yeah, go do what you gotta do. And I hope you got supper too. Take care. Thank you again. Have a good night and get good rest when you do. I don't think I've ever gotten 2 raids in the same night before. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. Now, I thought at first that these plushies were a reference to something, like maybe this one was a reference to Ulysses. I'm not sure of that, because it doesn't seem like the rest of the plushies are referencing anything in particular. Once they're clean, I'll take a second and we can look at them. Did I finish cleaning, y'all? Not quite. There we go. Let's see, you are still a little dirty. Oh, there we go. Oh, I forgot I have to do this. I have to clean the generator too. Whoop. We'll do that after we're done with the rest of the outside. I think I remember exactly once they brought a circus to my hometown. And this was the early, well, no, it couldn't have been the early 90s if I remember. It had to be at least the mid 90s. It even had an elephant. The elephant, it wasn't, you couldn't ride it, and I don't think you could touch it either, but you could pay to go into and it wasn't part of any acts. But you could pay to go into, like, where they were keeping it and look at it. So in that respect, that's a bit of an improvement over what a lot of circuses were doing to elephants in the 90s. And so... And I do remember there being a chunk of these kind of booths where you could try to earn things. They're just little guys. I would gladly take several of these ball plushies, actually. Is that a fucking okay, sorry. I almost had a tiny minor crash out because I thought this was a fucking Labubu. It is not, thankfully. You confuse me. Oh, is it just a gnome in a dress? Or is it just a teddy bear with a beard and a dress? I guess it doesn't matter. Because my brain was immediately like Santa Claus in a dress, despite the fact that there's lots of bearded men that are not Santa. It seemed appropriate for this season. I am, in some ways, kind of sad that the Labubu craze is going to result in a great deal of those things being in various, like, secondhand shops and dumpsters and landfills for the next decade or so. Because what I read online the other day was that, like, the craze is already over, basically, or very nearly over, and a lot of people are tossing them, and it just seems so sad. They're just little guys. My roommate got several of them. What? I don't want this plush. I don't want this plushie at all. I don't want to be in the vicinity of this plushie, actually. Actually, that's a lie. It's weird enough to be interesting. Is that one clean? Nope. There we go. Okay. Might as well do the guns real quick. Okay. I'd wanted to do the generator before doing anything on the inside of the thingo. there's a... So, every year in my hometown, there's this fair. Or not in my hometown, it's actually about an hour and about an hour away from my hometown. There's a big fair that they hold. And they bring in a bunch of booths like this, as well as food ones, and Ferris wheels and like other stuff, like different types of rides. But they also have a whole section that is more country fair style. Like there's like horse riding displays and like cattle related things. There's contests for animals, is what I'm trying to say. And I always thought that was really interesting. And that is always what any of this will remind me of, is that specific fair. And it only runs for like a weekend once a year. Or I think a few days before the weekend. It's almost always around Labor Day. It was the only way you could ever get stuff like fried dough or whatnot. I found out the hard way that I have to like take breaks between big rides, or it's puke time. Because I don't know if the nickname for a lot of rides changes between areas. There was this one ride that was called the Zipper. And it was like this oblong thing, and it had a bunch of like two-person cages, so to speak, attached, and it would go round and round, and the cages would get rocked around pretty violently as it went. It's hard to explain. And I don't even know if the Zipper was the name of the machine or a nickname that we kids came up with it. What I do know is that it had the highest rank in the fairground of making people sick. And I only ever went on it a couple of times as a result. Yeah, I love how Kevin was like, yeah, a cyclone of trash came through and it only targeted your booth. Okay, Chief. That's why there's footprints in the dirt. Yeah, a cyclone left those there. And then... Well... I guess this counts as ground. I think it's a separate object, though. Yeah, it's technically a separate object. Okay, wait. Before I got to the ground, I'd want to do the ceiling. Because it's less interesting. And we should get it out of the way first. Apology accepted, Kevin. And then Kevin has to go, that was not an apology, Cobb, it was a carefully worded clarification. Always the last word, Kevin. Not at all. Literally proving Picote's point there. You know, I don't remember if Kevin was the dude who owned what, because in the last game, one of the folks who hired us to clean his machine in the fairgrounds was really judgy and kind of rude towards the others, and I'm wondering if this is the same guy. I would have to launch the first game to see. I'm kind of tempted now, though. I'm gonna do it. I want to see. In the meantime, I'll keep cleaning. Did I? No, that frame's not done yet. Now it says that this is still... Is this all one? Oh, it's all one thing. All of the wooden beams. Okay, that tracks. Also, boop. Here, let me... I'm checking. Oh no! I had forgotten! I restarted my heckin', my file on PowerWash Sim 1. So I haven't even unlocked that job yet. Okay. Oh well. I'll check another time. Oh man, not to brag, but at work the other day, I actually got, like, acknowledged by a couple different people that, actually a couple teams of people that work in a different but related department for, like, the coherence of my written communication and the fact that I was very thorough about leaving notes and remarks. And, like, multiple people brought that up to me over the course of the day, and I, like, combusted. I was like, Senpai has noticed me, but also I am going to die. Oh, hello. Right, I forgot this thing is in operation at the moment. It was just really nice, you know? To feel, I guess, sort of seen at work. To know that, you know, what effort you're putting in is not disregarded. Excuse me. Okay, let's get down, shall we? Oh my my goodness. Oh my goodness, hello my dear, hello Squiggly and all your viewers. I hope you're having a fantastic night. Thank you so much for the raid. What were you guys playing? Hi folks, my name is Shara. I have never gotten 3 raids in one night before. Goodness gracious. Hello my dear, I hope you're doing well, Danny. Oh, hello badass. Nancy Drew. A hidden object game version of Nancy Drew, or just like the detective, like OG detective Nancy Drew? Either way, that sounds fantastic. Also, I owe this to badass. Not the best Ojo-sama laugh I've ever done. My apologies. Oh, I love that. OG Nancy Drew is such goodness. I didn't get a chance to play them, but I watched a friend play them when we were younger, and I fell in love with them. I must have read most of the books, too. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I really appreciate you bringing your community over. We'll play through a few of them. Oh, I'm so glad. I really do thoroughly enjoy them. I'm poking away at PowerWash Sim 2. This level is like... We're in a squirty gun thing that... Look, it's themed after our exploits, PowerWash Simulator. A lot of the stuff in here is stuff that is, it'll become more obvious as I clean, but it's locations or events that occurred in the first game. It's really cute. This one was so long for some reason. Oh, did you do it all in one? I've noticed that if I try to do some of these older games in one sitting, the stream can end up being like 4 or more hours. I'm honestly really enjoying PowerWash Sim 2. It feels like a love letter to fans of the first game. There's so many references to events from the first game, and in some ways that can be that's good and bad, because there's bits that are a direct spoiler to some of the stuff that happened in the first game, but it's also so enjoyable. Oh, this PowerWash level? Very much so. I love this level so much. It is so cute. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, Danny, and I hope you had a good night and are having fun. Oop. Oh yeah, no, this level takes forever. Especially with stuff that's moving. Oh, thank you, Kit. I always forget. If anyone who is currently watching is not following Squiggly Elf, please do. She is such an excellent bean. I was just thinking the other day about how I never got raids, and I've gotten 3 this stream. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna go lurk and go prep for work in the morning. Yeah, do what you gotta do, my dear. Thank you again for bringing your community over. I hope you can get all the prep work done so you can get some good rest tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate it, Kit. Yee. Have a good night, my dear. I'm wondering, maybe not this next week, but I have so many hidden object games. I played the one I know was Christmas related last year. I'm wondering if I have any others that are Christmas or winter related that I can pull out to play this holiday season for a hidden object game specifically, because I do very much enjoy those games. part of me wants to break out the awful one that I'm pretty sure I might own the really terrible one that the Grumps played once. That was like the Nutcracker with the astoundingly bad voice acting that made them laugh. AKA the I didn't survive the horrors of war just to lose Anna. That level of voice acting. I'll have to look through what I have. Okay, is there a slightly elevated place? Okay, there we go. I love this big round guy. What are you supposed to be, dude? I don't know what you are, but you're adorable. Round. Man, so my roommate, one of my roommates is on a kick of, just somehow, like, at one point on their YouTube, they got recommended an ocean video, and now their recommended is nothing but ocean videos. And we were talking about the other day, we actually tried to watch Sharknado, and we just had to stop because of the cringe. But we were still talking about, like, ocean-related stuff. And, there's one of the biggest great white that we know of is called Great Blue. Ocean Man, take me by the hand. But no, Big Blue is a very old, as far as we can tell, she's a relatively old great white. She is 20 feet long, minimum, and she is rotund. She is round. If you ever search, like, I think she's called Great Blue, Great White Shark, or something, you will see. She be round. She's just a tube. Oh, I think the ad is about to start. Sorry guys, I forgot to postpone it. There we go. Oh no, this alligator doesn't look happy. Are you okay? Well, never mind. I can see you now. You've got a smile. And are you an alligator or a crocodile? I do not know. You're perfect. Also, because I didn't do a schedule last week, you're being celebrated this week on my schedule. Oh, you don't have to, but I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Can I go uppies? I am officially mid-30s. I had a realization the other night. So I did join the club. Yes, I know. So I obviously bought tickets for Iron Lung, right? Which is a rated R film. I'm going to have to hope that they do not card people, because my state ID expired on my birthday, and I will not. My appointment is on the 16th, on January 16th, to get it renewed, and because it was the closest one, or the soonest one I could get, and I'm not going to have the physical. I might not have the physical copy by the 30th. So I either have to ask them to give me a paper copy at the DMV, or I have to hope they don't card me, because that would make me very sad if I couldn't watch Iron Lung. I am debating taking that day off work, because as things stand, the only showing I could get seats, or I could get a ticket for, is the 10:30 p.m. one. And that is 3.5 hours after my shift ends. So I would kind of be stuck in the city with nowhere to go for 3 hours. And they don't necessarily let you into the theater that early, so I'm debating, honestly, just taking that day off. Maybe doing a stream earlier in the day to, like, just maybe I can do a Final Fantasy 14 stream. We shall see. I will think on it. I won't have access to my PTO until the 1st anyway. Welcome back! Thank you for popping back. Oh, Iron Lung. Initially, I thought I was gonna have to go see Kit, because it was playing near him. And then a couple days later, the website updated and they were played in several different theaters where I live now. So, yeah. Oh, so... What? Oh, right, I guess some of my stuff must have... Yeah, no. Who would want to see a Kit? Me. And I will have to see a Kit at some point here, hopefully this upcoming year. I would really very much like to. No, so Iron Lung is, you wouldn't have heard of it, because it is a completely indie movie. It is based on a video game of the same name, and it has only come to theaters for a singular day, because it's promoted and created by YouTuber Markiplier. And he's also, like, the main actor in it, too. It's rated R, which is why I was concerned about the timing for getting my renewed state ID. I could have just renewed it. If they hadn't just mandated that all new IDs have to be real IDs, I could have just renewed it online. But for real IDs for the first time, you have to go into the actual DMV. What? I sense a butt. You look older than 25. Yeah. I'm sure I'll be fine, yeah. I am definitely at the point where... I'm definitely at the point where I look my age, I think. Yeah. I think I'll be fine. It's just... Anxiety's a hell of a drug. There's footprints back here, too. Okie doke. Get a good rest, Kit. Thank you for popping in. Get a good sleeps. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's get the back side of this stuff. It's a bunch of kitties. Because in the first game, all the cats abruptly went missing. They just fucked off. So I'm assuming that these little guys are a reference to that. Because this particular level is nothing but references to the previous game. Wonder what order to tackle these in. Well, I guess we can start with Rush List, because this is the... the volcano. How did you get dirty on the inside? If you're hidden. Amazing. Okay, so this specific plane was owned by the millionaire that partnered up with the mayor to do some skeevy illegal mining shit. Kevin was thorough, so it seems. I mean, not to... I by no means approve of this, extremely rude, you know, damage in making this place filthy, but at the same time, you know, if you're gonna be a nuisance and you're gonna really fuck things up, I guess go big or go home. But yeah, so this plane is a model of the one we get to clean in the first game. It is owned by the millionaire that partnered up with the mayor, Jeff Jefferson, the dude I hate, to do the illegal mining thing. Shh. And then we've got this, which is, it looks like a flying saucer, but is actually the ship that was used by our time-traveling friends. And yes, you do get to clean it in the first game, too. Uppies. That's actually not what I wanted to do. Ah! That's also not what I wanted to do. Tis a fun stage. Okay, where is the dirt on the target? Okay, there we are. Yes, it does. And then you get to a certain area, and it transforms into the RV. Because your people were like, yeah, come clean the RV again. We are not suspicious at all. And you come to the area, and they're like, okay, JK, we lied. We're time travelers. Here's the sitch. So this is the temple. That's one of the last levels that you play in the base game. Also, thank you for the follow, Mirefire. I appreciate you. Unfortunately, I'm going to be hitting this thing several times as I try to get everything clean. Whoop. The temple level is The temple level is one of my favorites specifically because it has like what do you call it? Stuff on the walls, pictures on the walls that are direct references to the levels you play. Like every level you play is like a hollow, like what's it called? A hieroglyphic or whatever? Like it is represented. Hieroglyphics, that's the word. I can't words today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Normally I'm a tiny bit more articulate. So this church is also one of the ones that you clean. It is manned by mute priests or mute monks who got together and threw a bunch of eggs at Jeff Jefferson's mansion, which just makes me like them on principle. Yeah, I don't know, just not very many brain cells today, I suppose. Oop, actually, sorry, I didn't mean to do that again, but yeah, so there's that. And then we've got the merman, who had a crystal in its head that once we cleaned the machine, or once we cleaned the whole statue, someone has given him, like, superhero markings, it seems. But once we cleaned the level in the first game, it fired a beam that hit the volcano and stopped it from erupting. I was gonna remove the merman's gems now that they've been stolen, but I'd use really strong glue. And I'm sure they'll be recovered soon anyway, right? So in the timeline of PowerWash Sim 2, the gems have been removed from this statue meaning that beam is no longer firing overhead into the volcano. So everybody's a little anxious, and they're like, wasn't that the only thing stopping the volcano from erupting? So it's a little concerning. M for merman. MM for merman, yes. Oh my fucking god. The fucking... that S that everyone used to draw in school. Kitty, stop moving. I'm cleaning. Thank you. Oh, that wasn't done yet, was it? Okay. So we had another level where it was like a treehouse type thing. And the person who did the job, who owned the treehouse and talked to us a lot over the course, was like gushing about Bigfoot. So what do you know? The moving target in this section is a Bigfoot. Okay, let's get up there and do what we can to clean this from... Oh! The whole back needs to be cleaned. I thought I'd gotten that while I was up here last time. It seems not. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Bigfoot. Okay. Sorry, kitty. Where is the dirt on you? Oh. The side edge. I'm glad it's not an unhappy kitty noise. That would have made me very sad. What up here? Oh, this platform? Where? God, the number of times I've either witnessed my roommate having to pin down the cat to get poop that is stuck off the cat's butt off of her butt. A lot. A lot. Where's the dirt be? Is it between? What am I missing? I'm sure there's dirt somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Because this is not part of this. There are two different thingies. Unless perhaps it's this... edge here? Well, that's odd. The Bigfoot's armpit. No, the Bigfoot's completely clean. A shocker, I know. Let's just do a once over. Don't think I remember having this trouble last time I played this level. never a fan when I can't figure out where the last of dirt is. Well, let's see what else we've got going. Oh, there's some stuff on the roof I didn't get to? Oh! Yeah, Shara, an entire side! Sorry, roof. I was wondering how we could possibly still have something left to do. Well, here you are. Okay, gate pool, gate sign, target platform. Now gate's that guy, so... Gate pool? Gate pool. Okay. Okay, so now it is just you, the problem child. It's got to be visible from like a different angle than usual. Oop. If I can't find this, I'm going to be very sad. Actually, you know what? Why don't I... If we start from the start, or at least, you know, from the start of this platform, perhaps. Thank God that this option exists. It's helped me fix quite a few problems in the past. No, where's the other dirt? Where'd the other dirt be? What am I missing? Oh, I'm sorry, kitty. I didn't mean to hit you. Looks like it's a big chunk of dirt, too. That's what I was trying to do. Unless... Oh. Oh my god. I'm going to bed now. The shame! Oh my goodness, thank you for saying something. I don't know why I'm such a brainlet today. Thank you for pointing that out. I feel so silly now. Because I could have sworn I got that the first go around, but clearly not. Now I'm glad you mentioned it. I think I would have. I don't know what I would have done if we hadn't figured that out. Ah, yeah, Aqua Regis, that's amazing! I can't wait for Kevin to see this. This is the ultimate final word. That said, though, actually, let me check to see if there's anything new in here. Are there a couple new thingies? Yeah, this is new. The Caldera Post. New County Mayor announces spectacular Town of the Year competition. New Caldera County Mayor Jeff Jefferson III has wasted no time nestling into the hot seat, announcing an exciting new Town of the Year competition just days after being sworn into office, promising an unrivaled but as yet undisclosed prize to the best town in Caldera County. It's sure to give everyone a boost. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I really hope I appreciate you keeping me company, and I hope you enjoyed yourself through all of this. But yeah, I think that is it for me for tonight, because I should start thinking about sleeps. Now let's see, we've got a good chunk of... does anyone have a suggestion for who to raid? Because I do have a good chunk of friends who are playing different games tonight. Yeah, thank you, Kevin, thank you guys for everything. Thank you for those who has come and stayed in with the raids. I really appreciate all of you. Go ahead, Kevin, because I've got a chunk of folks that are doing stuff, but I'm always open to suggestions. Oh yeah, no, Matthew. I know him. He's a good dude. What is he? I actually follow him, and he's playing Kirby Air Riders. Yeah, let's go ahead and say hi to him. So I'll go ahead and get that raid started. What was I gonna say? So Wednesday I'll be playing some more Borderlands 3 with the crew. Friday, so I'll be doing some Final Fantasy 14, and next Sunday I haven't decided yet. Maybe House Flipper 2, maybe Crime Scene Cleaner, maybe more of this. But yeah, guys, thank you again so much for all the raids, everybody who stayed to keep me company, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care, stay safe, and until we talk again, have a good one. Let's go say hi to Matthew.